And we're all magnificent, but we don't all own it. So I
Oh
will
my
just say the
goodness.
parent Nina is a lot more comfortable with her magnificence, but she's still a work in progress.
Your words are like blowing my fucking mind.
I just gave myself goosebumps.
There is only one you, and that is your superpower. You can't F that up. However, you can get stuck. That's why I created this space called Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons. Unstuck Yourself is about figuring out what has you feeling frustrated, isolated, or depleted of energy so that you're able to unstuck yourself on your journey through life when you don't know how to move forward. Unstuck yourself in your career that no longer excites and challenges you. Unstuck yourself with negative thoughts that seem to be doing cartwheels in your head consistently. I don't have the answers. You do. You always have. I'm providing the time, space, and grace for you to reconnect to that knowing. I'm Crystal Simmons, coach, speaker, and facilitator, and I'm grateful you made it here. Let's begin to unstuck yourself.
Hey peeps, you made it back. Yay! So we got a treat for you today. Today episode is a magnificent and dope guest, and I'm so excited for you to hear more. Her name is Nina Lowman, and she's the owner of Indica Dreams LLC. She's certified in Dispensary Management, and she's the owner of Candelabra and Lowman Glass. She's a lover of wine, holistic health, and all things wellness. She's on a path of self-development and enlightenment to the highest degree, and you'll hear why. So enjoy this dope-tastical conversation with Nina and I. Hey, Nina. All right. So before we get started, all the listeners know, and for the new peeps that are just arriving, welcome. The purpose of Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons podcast is to not only highlight my own personal stuck moments and experiences, but to also create a space and a community for others to share their stories and experiences as well. So, Nina, before we dive into all the dopeness that we've been discussing before we hit record, but everything that you're creating and building, please let the peeps of Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons know who little Nina was that paved the way for the current Nina that sits before us today.
Little Nina. Wow, that's a great question. If I'm being totally honest, I think little Nina was afraid of Nina, like afraid to be herself, afraid to express herself, super shy, and just like a mousier version of me. It's like a diluted, like a super diluted version of the woman I am now. That's little Nina.
Diluted version of, ooh,
Hmm.
that hit. Like, even when you were speaking up to, first of all, thank you for sharing that and being open and honest.
Yeah.
But the more I talk to the people who listen, we are saying the same thing. And I got chills when you said a diluted version of who Nina is now. So compared to little Nina, who is
Mhm.
Nina now? How does she show up?
Nina now is, I still honestly struggle sometimes with being all of me because I can be a force and I don't want to ever make someone else feel dwarfed. So I struggle with how much do I how, how on can I be? How 100% of myself can I be in this situation with this person without them feeling dwarfed by my magnificence? And that's the truth. And we're all magnificent, but we don't all own it. So I
Oh
will
my
just say the
goodness.
parent Nina is a lot more comfortable with her magnificence, but she's still a work in progress.
Your words are like blowing my fucking mind.
I just gave myself goosebumps. Like for
Dwarfed
real. But that's the truth.
by my like, literally, I just did a coaching call. I did a practice call with a peer client, and I told her at the end of it, because she was like, to me, it felt like you were tense. And I was like, I didn't feel tense, but I also felt myself not be fully me.
Mhm.
So, yes,
You
I
can
know
always feel it.
exactly.
You always feel it. And you're like, "Mm," but there's a reason that you're hesitant, and every situation is different. So yeah, pushing through that.
Do you recall a time where you were your full magnificent self?
I can say, like, honestly, right now, in this space, sitting here talking to you, but also in this environment, when I'm around my friends and loved ones and my best friend, whose house I'm at right now, I'm visiting South Carolina, I'm 100% myself. I can be 100% Nina. All the fullness of me, all the wackiness, all the seriousness, all the assertiveness, all the oddness, all the quirkiness, and I'm accepted and it feels good. And like everyone, like I don't feel like I can give all those parts to everyone because honestly, everyone isn't deserving of all those parts. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's facts.
that's a big part of it. But right now, in this moment, I feel like that. I feel 100% myself and whole and safe.
How did you know that space, that environment? Because I have two questions or two things that popped up to me. Like, I definitely resonate with the environment. And I have been seeing different sides of that where I put myself in situations where the environment was not conducive to me showing up 100%. Maybe a little bit of me not trusting myself, but maybe not having trust in the other person too. Just things were off. So, how did you come to realize in this space in South Carolina with my best friend,
Mhm.
I'm able to just be, you said, my wacky, my fun, whatever self? How did that come to you?
That really all came to me through my self development work. So years ago, I would say probably around, honestly, 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I started on the path of self development. That wasn't even a term that I knew about prior to that. And so when I got into it, you start to understand who you are. It's self development, who you are, what makes you tick, what triggers you, how to move past those things, how to grow. Like, so I started to understand myself more. And once I understood that, then I can pinpoint what situations don't feel right for me and why it doesn't feel right. That's when it became easier, honestly. But before I just didn't know.
And Nina, like, yes, I can agree to that 100%. But I could say probably about 5 or so years ago when I was working at a corporate job,
Mhm.
those words would have been like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Agreed.
Like, it's so simple and you sound very complex. What am I supposed to do? Just give me the steps and I will do them. What does self-development mean? And I'll share for me, it meant me doing the same thing every day, thinking I'm gonna get a I took a deep breath if y'all didn't hear me, because I thought it would give me peace. I thought having a job that paid me really well, that I can go to work 5 days out of the week, would provide me with peace. It will provide me with security. It will provide me with purpose. Once I got the money and I got to that job, wait, what is my purpose being here? Wait, feel like I can't trust you because you keep throwing me in positions that are having people question my character. I can't rely on you.
Mhm.
Wait, am I actually safe here? Like,
Mhm.
so that's when the self development started. Of not saying, okay, now I'm going to start self development. It was reading books, hearing other perspectives from people, just sharing a story, be like, oh crap, that happened to you? Or
Mhm.
hearing a podcast. I'm like, their words. Like you just started with this podcast,
Yeah.
dwarfing your I'm like, what the? Yes.
My path to self development was a lot different than that. And it kind of came out of something that wasn't such a good thing, if I'm being honest. I was involved in a relationship that I should not have been in because it was a married man. And I went into it feeling okay. Like, and then once I was in it, I don't know what clicked for me, but at one point I felt it just hit me. I'm helping to tear someone's marriage apart. Whether they're happy together or not is not my concern because I'm not supposed to be in this equation. And it never dawned on me before. And that is what set me on the path, honestly, that relationship that I got out of and I'm no longer in, but that's what set me on the path. Being in that murkiness and that nastiness. Like, who are you as a person that you think this is okay? And I had to ask myself that, and that was rough to work through.
Your honesty, because on this path of like coaching and so forth, we are taught and shown how to not judge prior. I've like would have judged. But in this moment, I'm like,
Yeah.
what is a good or bad situation? As soon as we deem something as bad, then you deserve everything that comes with it. But yet, when we do things that are good, quote unquote,
Mhm.
me getting a full-time job and making good money or enough money to pay my bills, eat, provide shelter, build a home, whatever, it should have brought me good. It didn't. So we're all getting into murky situations.
Right.
So
Exactly.
if we remove the judgment from good or bad, we're just in a situation. And that situation allows you to look at it from a different perspective of, wait, why am I here? And you had that thought of, oh, why am I adding to the possibility of breaking down a marriage?
Exactly.
And
Ex
that allowed you to move through it. So kudos to you.
Thanks.
Because I know, even for myself, I have done some shady shit. And I
Yeah,
know the people who are
shady
listening
AF.
we are human.
Yeah,
We're human.
yeah.
So thank you for
But
sharing that.
poor it was poor character. So, to admit that to myself, whoa, that was a lot to work through. Like, you got some mess to clean up, girl. You know what I mean? So I had to, like, once that revelation hit me, now it's working through all this stuff that I had going on and didn't realize.
Yes.
So I got to get through all that, and then I had to start building from there. So it's a path, it's a journey.
And I always say on here, the triple A's, the first A is awareness. You were not aware. You were not able to quote unquote clear up the mess because before there was no mess. I was with a person that I enjoy spending time with, and then became aware of, oh crap. You then went to the second one of what am I capable of? What are my abilities?
Mhm.
Maybe this isn't it. And
I
then you
think the
decide to
mess
take
is
action.
I think the mess is always there. It's just if you choose to acknowledge it. We can go through life blindly if we want to, and many of us do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people come into this world and leave this world completely blind.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that I woke up.
Yeah. And
So
I'm a firm believer there's multiple, well, we know we have multiple senses. Sight is but one.
yeah,
Even though we haven't verbalized that acknowledgement, oh, we know.
we know.
We know.
We know.
Oh, that's so good. All right, let's start with what you're currently building. And actually, I'll share with the people how we met.
Okay, let's do
So,
that.
Nina was part of the Entreprenista League, and I think you joined before me.
Shortly before you.
Yeah.
Not much before you, yes.
And luckily, the Entreprenista League, they have this app where we can message each other. And there's so many people in the app, and you posted about your candles.
You did.
They were beautiful candles. I was
Thank
curious like I
you.
am, and I sent her like 18 questions, y'all.
She did. And I was like, yeah, she's excited. Like, I love those kind of questions.
And that made me, one, feel seen, heard, and not a weirdo. Like, not like, lady, go to the website and figure that shit out. You know what I
Who
mean?
wants to be told that? Like, that's not helpful for anybody.
I have had instances where I may have done that before on a previous business.
Okay.
And because I don't want to deem myself as perfect. I'm pretty sure I've done that before, but I've had it where I reached out to other people and they've been like, hey, have you visited the website? I'm like, well, I'm trying to talk to you because obviously the website is intimidating.
Right.
Like, I don't know what to get.
That's why I'm reaching out to you right now. That's why I'm
Correct.
saying these words to you in this very moment. Like, I need your help.
Yes.
Help me.
And maybe that's on me because I didn't say I need your help. So that's something I could do. But yeah, I reached out and I want you to share with the peeps what was it like creating your business? Because you have multiple businesses. So you pick and choose which one you want to start with because we're here to
Talk
listen.
about the mothership, which is Indica Dreams, because all the other two are subsidiaries of her. Like, she's my baby. Um, that word creation, that's an important word to me. So I have to like kind of take it back a little bit. After
Yeah.
doing the self-development work and learning more about who I am, and also let me like put this in. The self-development work never stops. It's ongoing till you leave this earth. Let's just say that. So after getting a grasp on who I was, understanding what I wanted to attract in my life, what I didn't, this need to, whatever work that I was doing had to come, it needed to not just serve me. And I feel like I've had other companies before and they all failed because they were just self-serving. So when I
Mhm.
went into creating Indica Dreams, it was for my mom and what she went through with breast cancer. I wanted to make that journey for other people a little bit easier, a lot a bit easier. Who am I kidding? A lot a bit easier because you went through hell. So I wanted it to be easier for them. But that allowed me to not only create and be the creator that I am, but to also help other people. So it's not completely self-serving. It's both. I'm serving myself. I'm serving you. I'm serving my family. I'm serving your extended family. I'm serving your friends. And I think that's why Indica Dreams has been so successful because the intention behind it is totally different this time. So, yeah, that's how it came about. Going through my mom's breast cancer, watching her be on a lot of medications and it's sucking the life out of her, trying to find alternative methods and holistic remedies and going through hell trying to find quality holistic remedies because all holistic is not made the same. Let's be real.
Yes.
So I wanted to make it easier. I wanted it to feel like you can text, email, call, whatever, and get some assistance. And you can do all those things with us.
So on your path of looking for that holistic remedy for your mom and many others,
Mhm.
what did you encounter? Like that was hell that you explained. What did that
So
look like?
CBD is everywhere. You know what I mean? Like it's everywhere. And we did not know anything about it. I didn't even know what a CBD was. You know what I mean? I just knew I
Yeah.
was looking for alternative medicines. And you don't know what's good and what's not. And when you're unfamiliar with a topic or a remedy, if you want to call it that, you're like just searching and grasping for information. And a lot of companies are like, go to the website or check out our FAQs. Well, like I want to talk, I need to connect with somebody. I have questions. Will this help my mom? What about this? If you've got 50 products on your website, and that was going on constantly. And a lot of the stuff was garbage. Some was good, some was not, some was too high. It was just like we just said no. Like I
Mhm.
needed my hand held a little bit so I could hold my mom's hand through this. And I wasn't getting that. So it just made it tough on both of us.
Did you ever receive that hand holding
No,
during that process? Okay.
not once.
Ah, that's really unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. It
So
is
how did you come to realize, okay, I guess I got to hold my own hand in order to hold my mom's then?
after going through all that and finding a company that had quality products and seeing how she's starting to get her oomph back, starting to get her judge
Ah.
back. I was like, okay, there's something to this. And so I started researching more and more and more. And I was just fascinated by its benefits and that it was totally natural. Like I just wanted to learn more. So that led to me going to school for it. I went to school and got certified in dispensary management so I could understand the growth process, how to start a business, how to like everything from the inside, from the Buddha to the Tuda, as they say. Like I wanted to understand it. And that's just what I went for, just for the knowledge because I was fascinated by it. And in there, during the course, I was like, oh, I could totally turn this into a business. I could give this to other people. I could give this gift that was given to my mom to other people. And that's it. It was really born like sitting in that classroom. It was never supposed to be a business.
Whew.
Yeah.
I did not know you went to study and that's why I was like,
Mhm.
where did the aha moment come from? So that just you telling the story was like,
Sitting in a
yes.
classroom. Yeah.
So people who can't see, we're on video. As soon as she said she went to school to study it, I threw my hands up like,
You did.
that's that. Okay, yep, got it. Because you had purpose behind it. You found a company who was doing it the way that gave you and your mom,
Well,
I don't
what
want
I
to say
will say,
clarity. Go ahead, go ahead.
they didn't give us clarity. Like the product was good, but that personal
Correct. Yes, yes,
like
yes, yes.
that was missing. It still felt it was a sterile interaction. I will say that it's still like a sterile purchase, a sterile interaction. Like there was no comfort, and they're not there to provide that. I get that, but it's nice to have that when you're in these tough times, and that means something to the customer. It would have meant a lot to me.
Absolutely.
So I knew the product was good, but I wanted to give more of that personal touch.
Like I definitely feel like it was all of this was here for you to create what you created. So bigger picture, you were like, I want the connection. I actually wrote that down. You was like, I want connection. Like I want to know that you're holding my hand through it. And even when you first started, you said the products weren't that good with other companies. So they weren't giving you connection and they're giving you trash products. So it is
Exactly.
a lose lose.
Trash on
Like,
trash.
but then you got halfway through the plan of at least like, oh, finally, I knew it was possible, but I didn't know how. So the products kind of gave you hope.
Exactly.
But like, okay, wow, they actually work. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And then you're like, but I'm still missing, which is, I laugh because that is what the journey is for people who listen to this. You get the job, they pay well, but they're
Mhm.
trash people. I don't want to leave because they are paying or allowing me to pay my bills. But you
Right.
want both. And that is what these conversations are about. You're allowed to have both.
I
Sometimes it could
agree. I
say it
think
again.
not even I think, I know we can have it all. It's okay to want more. Doesn't mean you're greedy. You're
Yes.
not you're never satisfied. If you want to look at it in that negative light, you're more than welcome. But as I see it, like we're here to create and make the most of everything. So if you can have the best of both worlds, why not?
Yeah.
Why
And
limit
it is.
yourself?
Yes, I was just about to say one aspect is the limiting view. The other one is abundance. You could have both. You could have triple. You could, but you have to know what it is you want. And you said it clearly. I want good products for my mom, but I want to know what I'm doing because this is my mom.
Right.
I'm not just giving her anything. And just because you
Exactly.
sell it and I give you the, is this going to work? Is this going to benefit her health? Don't just give me stuff and like just try it. No, you
Right.
need to answer these questions for me
Exactly.
because you value your mom. They might value decent products and getting paid, and that's cool. If that's their value,
And that's okay too. Exactly.
yes, yes. And
Okay too.
I think that's where most people get stuck where if they're good people, they should care about my mom and they don't know your mom. Some companies will, but some have different values. And in covering that, you as a consumer get to decide as the employee, you get to decide the spouse, you get to decide,
Right, exactly. There's a
is this
space
enough for
for
me?
everybody. If you want to just
Yes.
be about the sale and the sterileness and you don't want that, and some people just want that, and that's
Correct.
okay, then
Correct.
there's these companies that do that. If you want more of a personal touch, you want to have more one-on-one consultations, you need a little bit of help, you want to talk on the phone. There's companies that do that. There's a space for everybody to exist and for everybody to flourish.
Absolutely. And I thank you for being here too, because you're just popping different ideas, perspectives, and I'm loving it because I get to choose which one feels good. And we started talking in the beginning. I want to get into like the products you have. You have some new products coming up.
I do, I do. So, if anyone has been following Indica Dreams, or even if you haven't, historically we've just been a purely CBD brand, full spectrum all the way. None of our products have had any psychoactive effects. Basically, you ain't gonna get high, but you're getting the
Thank you for
medicinal,
breaking it down for
right?
us. Yes.
But you're getting the medicinal properties of it. Like it's the holistic side of it. Now, I have always steered away from products that did make you high because I didn't get high and it would make me uncomfortable. And so like everything that I sell, I try or I use consistently. So it's like, why would I sell something or sorry about that. Why would I
That's
sell
okay.
something or give something out that I don't stand behind?
Yeah.
So I never thought that I would ever do anything with THC. And so these new products are delving into that lane. And there's a reason behind it, though. After studying it, after researching it, some people do need like a little bit extra for the pain management or for the sleep or for the depression. This is
Mm,
just increasing our product line to provide more options because some people do need a little bit more and we weren't really filling that gap for them. So that was the purpose of this. So the new products are we have some new dress pre-rolls coming out. We have our Delta 8 gummies coming out. We have our pet collection, which I'm super excited about. My cats love the treats. There's cat treats, dog treats, pet
I
treats.
definitely want to try the dog treats, but I'm gonna get back to me because that sounds, yeah, I'm gonna get back to me. Anyways, because you touched on something where you never wanted to touch THC
Mhm.
or provide it, but you also say you tried it consistently. So what does consistent look like for you? And then I'll continue with my story.
Consistent looks like for me, it's not like I tried it twice and I was like, this is okay. Like I'm using it. I'm using it if I'm stressed. I'm using it when I'm happy. I'm using it to try to go to sleep. I'm using it to try to wake up. Like I'm using it in all aspects of my life to see how this agrees with my body. Do I like this? Will other people like can I stand behind this? Does it make
Yes.
sense? And so,
Yes.
I'm not a smoker, but I have been enjoying these new pre-rolls. So, it's just
And I appreciate
really,
you saying that.
really, really, really using it and standing behind it before
Like
I present it to anybody.
growing up, my mom and dad, they didn't drink a lot. They didn't have alcohol in the house routinely. It would be like for special occasions, like they might have like beer or like cookouts and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So when I get around other people, their story might be different. Alcohol is just a thing. I remember going out for happy hour with my friends and they'd be like, get drinks. I'm like, yo, I'm about to get this food. You see
Right,
these appetizers, they're half off.
right.
But growing up, my dad was really weird with food. Like it was, it's a, it's a
How
trauma
so?
response for me.
How so?
Where so I don't know if I shared this before, but I don't know with him growing up or whatever. Me and my sisters, we would get pizza. He would order us pizza. We're little girls, and maybe we would have like one slice and try to save like another slice, like just put it in the refrigerator. He would just eat it.
Mhm.
And we would just be, and I'll just speak for myself. I was hurt. And he would do it as we got older to the point where he's like, there's no saving because he wanted to eat it all. And even when I met my husband, I would tell him that he's like, yo, that's really wild. Like, I was like, that's just what it was. And as I got older, him and I, me and my husband, is another story, but I'm not going to share that one. Um, we went out to a big, like, friends dinner to eat. One
Mhm.
of our friends wanted to take some food home and I told my husband before we got to the dinner, I was like, we need to eat somewhere else where we all have our own food. He was like, no, 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 we'll do the family style, it'll be fun. I'm like, it's not gonna be enough because I don't eat pork, eat beef, I
Right.
eat chicken here and there, but I like seafood. What did we order? All beef and pork, and then my one seafood dish. So
Okay.
everybody else is just trying stuff, just trying, I'm like, I have one thing to eat. And as soon as he started putting stuff in, because he was leaving early, literally snapped, grabbed his fork full of food, and threw that shit down and was like, that's enough.
Oh.
I was outside my body. Like I was like,
So what happened with that? What
Nina
was
said,
going on?
oh.
Like, whew, clutching my pearls that I don't have.
Yeah. Literally, because I would tell my husband, I was like, I didn't know how strong my ego was with food, protection, of security. Will I have enough food to eat? I haven't gone hungry before, but I think with that trust being broken repeatedly, like just growing up, I need to make sure I have food.
I have to ask because now I'm intrigued. Did you ever ask your dad why he felt the need to do that? Because I mean, why? Did you ever discuss that with him?
Glad you asked that because the other story that I said I wasn't going to share, he wouldn't give me like a make sense answer. Like I always cooked at home. Like my mom would cook all the time, but like I would like bake stuff and then share it with my family. So it's my mom, my dad, and my two sisters. And I remember I made banana pudding. I like my bananas really thin. I like a lot of wafers.
Right?
See, I'm very specific, like a little bit of pudding or
Okay,
whatnot.
yeah, okay.
So I'm like layering it, did it all. You gotta let it sit in the refrigerator so the wafers get soft. I had a big bowl. I can't eat a bowl of banana pudding by myself. I'll always share. If I made brownies, cake, whatever, I'm sharing. Let it sit in our separate refrigerator because we have a separate refrigerator when we have like Christmas and stuff. My mom
Okay.
cooks so much. There's so much extra food. So it's downstairs, extra refrigerator. I go down, bowl feels a little light. He literally ate almost the whole bowl except for like a quarter. Keep in mind, I'm like
Wow.
probably like 17, 18.
Okay.
So I was like, why did you eat this? And he was like, I didn't know whose it was. I was like, it wasn't yours.
Whoever
I,
it wasn't yours.
and I remember going
Let's
up to
start
my
there.
mom and just kind of crying, like, why would he do this? I share with y'all all the time. So I'm talking to my therapist about it now. Just
I
FYI.
think like when I hear that, like I'm not a therapist, but when I hear that story, it makes me think that clearly he went through something in his childhood where he felt the need he needs to hoard as an adult or hoard the food or make sure he's eating enough because maybe he didn't have enough.
Correct. I would agree.
Oh,
And because this happened so long ago, I'm thankful that you brought it up because I do want to ask him now. And I do think as I have gotten older and seen him for who he is, that he wasn't doing it to be mean or spiteful. We all do things out of reaction to whatever stories we're telling ourselves, interpretations we're making.
exactly.
And so I get that. Went off on a tangent, but I think I could bring us back where talk about alcohol. I
Mhm.
really wasn't a big drinker. Like I just wasn't. So I would drink around friends, my boyfriend and husband, but it never really, I was never like, oh, the day's been so stressful. I need a drink.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
I just didn't do that. But I still kept doing it because I was like, I don't know what else to do. Meaning I'll have a drink because y'all are having a drink. And today was kind of like, oh, whatever. Or if we're partying, like
Mhm.
I'll say we could drink if we're celebrating something. But if it's like a Tuesday, why are we drinking? What the hell are we celebrating? Like my brain cannot
It doesn't go there.
understand it.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So now I'm getting more curious with the gummies. I like eating them. And so when you mentioned, I was like, ooh, a Black owned company that provides this? Tell me more. Because I'm telling you, this whole couple of probably 2, 3 years,
Mhm.
like you said, the self development keeps going. But I feel like COVID, the coaching training I've been doing, it has accelerated me looking inward. Like I'll be like, before, oh, I learned this about myself. And then a couple months ago by, I'd be like, yeah, I learned. No, it's like
It's
almost every
constant
fucking
now,
day.
right?
It's like I'm like, God damn it. Like, come on.
But do you know why it's constant?
It's constant because I continue to allow myself to go there, to be open.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
You
all right, something new again. What we got?
exactly.
Obviously, I'm not learning something because it keeps coming up this way. So, what is it that I keep avoiding? What is it? And now, like, and that's why I mentioned the
Yeah.
judgment. I used to be really big on if you're a good person, good stuff happens to you. We're all good. We're all innately good.
Mhm.
And our experiences and our perceptions might taint that in the sense of now I deserve this. You should give me this. You should treat me this way. And it still goes back to us just how do we treat us? If I'm judging people on drinking and
Yeah,
whatnot, I'm definitely judging myself. So
absolutely.
I can say alcohol is not for me. Just
Okay.
don't miss it. Like I might have wine here and there, but every time I have it, I get a headache immediately, and I'm like, I
It's not
don't
your
like
jam.
this. It's
It's
not.
not your jam, and you
So I'm
know that now.
happy.
Right.
It feels good to have the gummies with THC in it, where
It's like a little bit of a release without like, you're still you, you're not totally altered, but it
yes,
takes the edge off a little bit more than a typical CBD gummy would.
yes,
I love to use it, honestly, for creativity. I do
yes,
some of my best creative work on that. Like, if I have a problem sometimes in business, which is like almost every day, and I don't know the solution, I don't act on it. I let it sit because the solution will come to me. And I find that when I take one of the new THC gummies, I'm able to work through that problem in a way that I couldn't before. And it comes to me. I'm not saying like every time, but my thinking is just more in tune. I'm able to connect more. It's great for meditation. Let me just say, try it.
I'm
Pop one
so
of
glad you
those
said that.
babies and get a good meditation going. Ugh, I love it. So I use it for that as well to meditate sometimes.
So two questions. Well, actually, when you said meditation, I was like, yeah, it sounds like this is another resource where I used to look at it as if it's holistic or if it's natural, we don't need outside resources to help us with it. Meditation, you could just sit, but then there's guided meditation. It's an
Hmm.
outside resource. Or we could read a book. A book is an outside resource.
Yes, they're all
So,
forms of wellness.
yes,
All forms of wellness. Not all of them, but There's so many out there. You just kind of pick what works for you and your soul and you and your journey. This is just another tool.
So how much THC is in the gummy? Like, what's the
Yeah, so the gummies that we are getting ready to launch, watermelon and tangelo, each
Mhm.
gummy is 25 milligrams of Delta 8 each gummy. So it's not the strongest out there, but it's strong enough. So we
I
tested
mean,
different potencies and there was 15, you could do like a 5 milligram. I like the 25 because it's not too big of a step up from the CBD without it being too strong for someone to take. Like, I don't want to go from having no THC to like some 1,000 milligram gummy that's going to like knock someone off their socks. Like, that's not the point of this. It's just an additional medicinal tool to use. So it's supposed to be, we're graduating it a little bit, just a
so
little bit.
what is Delta 8? What is that?
It's a cannabinoid. So if you get like full spectrum CBD, it's all the cannabinoids. They all work together to create the entourage effect. And that's why all of our products are full spectrum. We don't take anything out. We're not just giving you the one CBD, which is like an isolate. We're giving you all the cannabinoids. Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, those are the things that have the psychoactive, which make you high.
Gotcha.
So it's like
So
this, or, euphoric. Let's use that word. It's euphoric. Whereas with just CBD, you're not going to have any of that euphoria.
I will say, yeah, euphoric and
Mhm.
Delta 8, Delta 9, like if I were to Google that, what would come up?
A lot of stuff. There, like I said, there's so much information out there. It's just the cannabinoid that leads to euphoria.
Okay, the
Yeah.
cannabinoid that leads to
Mhm.
euphoria. Thank
But
you for
it's
putting that.
great for, like I said, you can use it for depression, seizures. I think it's nice to layer. Like, I'm a layer. Like, sometimes if I have like a really bad headache, take some CBD, have a gummy. I'm
Gotcha.
not sleeping well. Maybe the tincture's not enough tonight. I'll do half a gummy and my tincture. Like, wellness is meant to layer, subtract, add, all that stuff. And so we're just giving you a few more ingredients to work with.
That's exciting me now because I have been tapping into more of what it is that I want and what feels good and what doesn't feel good. But for someone who is not allowing themselves to explore or be curious, that can be kind of intimidating
Mhm.
that you're saying to layers. Like, wait a minute, I don't know what I want. You want me to try to do this and that?
Yes.
Like,
I only recommend the layering if you are already using the products. You know what I mean? Like, this is for someone who's like, who knows what amount of CBD or THC works for their body, all right. Then you can start experimenting. I'm not saying buy, 6 products and like try them all out. That's a recipe for disaster. We don't want that.
we do not.
We don't want that.
We do
That's
not
like
want
when you're
that.
like, okay, I know what kind of works for my body. Let's try it. So you try this, or then you add this. That's when you get into
Yeah.
experiment, and that's kind of the fun part to me.
I was just about to say that's exciting the way you just put that
Yeah,
because
that's the fun part.
yes. Oh man.
And
So
it's
Indica
also like your
Dreams.
your body changes and grow, your mind changes and grow. So what works for you, let's say in 2018, that might not work for you in 2022 because your situations are different, your circumstances are different, your body is different, your body's older. So these products and I feel like any kind of wellness technique, that's the beauty of wellness and holistic stuff. It always changes and grows with you. It's never static.
That feels good that what you just said
Mhm.
because
What part?
that is always growing and that we're different. Where I think for me and some people might resonate with it, you'd be like, well, I used to like this. Why don't I like this anymore? I used to always want to do this. Now I don't. It's something wrong with me. I
Right.
think just that reminder of you're changing, Crystal. You're changing.
But it's
And
like
it's
being aware of the change. If you're not aware of it, then you just kind of just go along, right? And everything's fine. But when you start tapping into really what works for you, what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what brings you joy, you become more selective.
ooh,
And then that's when, you subtract, you add, things change. Like, that's the process. That's the journey.
I'm selective.
I'm definitely selective.
I'm selective.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And it's okay to be selective. I don't like when people try to make other people feel uncomfortable or feel bad about being selective.
And I want to put emphasis on being selective, what I hear from me and Phil, it's empowering and it's freeing.
Absolutely.
It keeps me out of that box of, but I'm supposed to do this because that's what I used to do. Ah, wow.
Absolutely.
All right. So, because I know we could talk forever.
We sure could.
I'm
Anyway.
definitely interested in the new products. So if you have a soft date when that's coming out,
I do. I
ooh,
can tell you that the new dressed pre-rolls, and if you don't know what a dressed pre-roll is, it's different from our regular ones. They are dressed with keef and they have herbs on them, such as like hawthorn, damiana leaf,
I
and
don't know what you're talking about.
they're just really great herbs that have great medicinal properties.
Okay.
So everything is organic. They just have so many benefits. It's amazing. And then our blue lotus pre-roll has dried blue lotus leaf on it, in addition to those herbs that I just mentioned. And then our red lotus dress pre-rolls has dried Egyptian roses. So those will drop in next week, actually.
What? Wait, what day?
I cannot release that. You're gonna have to watch
Okay.
the gram or look
Okay.
out for an email, but they are definitely dropping next week. So
All
that's
right. So
exciting.
drop your Instagram and everything and we'll keep going. But you gotta drop your
Absolutely.
Instagram.
The Instagram is Indica Dreams LLC, or you can find us on Facebook at Indica Dreams Official.
Show. And
Mhm.
I'll put it in the show notes as well because I'm gonna release this podcast on this upcoming Wednesday, which will be, I don't know what the date is. Let me see. The 27th.
Okay.
So just FYI. So that's exciting. Question that came to my mind as you were describing what these dress pre-rolls are. We have images of them because in my head they look beautiful and like
I do. We do.
kind of like your candles.
They are beautiful. I mean, I can describe it to you if you want.
Yes.
But we do have images. They come in a glass vial with a cork, which is different. Oh, you're not fancy, which is
Oh, y'all
different.
don't see me. I'm snapping. I'm
She's
snapping.
snapping
I'm
those
snapping.
fingers. Well, I wanted to turn it up a notch because our regular pre rolls come in a plastic tube, and that's fine because it's a reusable tube. If you don't smoke at all in one setting, because I usually don't, you can just seal it back up. Same with the glass tube. If we are, it's an elevated pre-roll, so I had to elevate the packaging to go accordingly. So this comes in
Absolutely.
a nice fat glass tube with a cork. I mean, the graphics are just really beautiful. And when I say dressed, it is just dressed to perfection. I'll send you a picture after the podcast if you want. They're just really
Yes.
beautiful to look at, but they're just also really soothing and calming. I love them. Like I
Nina,
love them. I love
just how you just describe it and you say you wanted to elevate it, you definitely did that. Like,
yeah, thank you.
and I just learned too that many people, when they do smoke, they don't smoke the whole thing. Like that's for
Mhm.
some, that's not the purpose. But some, I feel like they think they're supposed to do the whole thing. So that was a aha moment for me just recently.
Right. Don't feel obligated to just toke, toke, toke. You don't have to. It's made to where you can take what you need, put the
Let
rest
it
away,
breathe.
come back for another day.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that goes back to you being selective of on a couple. I don't need to do
right.
it doesn't have to be all or none.
Right.
So
Maybe I want two puffs on a Saturday, but or two puffs on Tuesday, but Saturday I want a whole joint. Like,
it's
I had
funny
a
because
real long week, so I want this whole thing tonight. So, it's flexible like that. And it stays
yeah,
and I just know it's going to be well received because so much love has gone into these new products. It goes into all of them, but I'm just so 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 excited about these new products coming out and what they can offer people.
I'm so excited for you, but I'm excited for me
I
because
can't
I
wait
get
for
to I
fun.
get to explore even more.
Exactly.
All right, what else did you want? Oh, your book, your ebook.
Oh yes, some months ago we did drop an ebook. It is free. It really is just an educational, like workbook almost. So it educates
Ooh.
you on what CBD is if you have those questions and you don't feel comfortable reaching out to talk one on one. This guide will guide you through that. What CBD is, how to use it, and it's also interactive where you can download it and you can type in, it'll help guide you through what a CBD wellness plan looks like for you. Because what works for Crystal might not work for Nina, and what works for Nina won't work for Becca or Mike. So it really guides you to what works for your body and what products can work for you.
That's actually comforting.
And it's really it's short. It's not this long read. Get the information you need, get what you gotta get, and keep it moving. You
Nice.
can download it
Oh,
from our website for free, or click the link in our Instagram bio, and you can download it that way as well.
yeah. And when you share the link, I'll add it to the show notes and they can click right in
Yep,
the episode.
yep.
So that's perfect.
You can download it right to your phone and actually do it right from your phone if you don't want to do it at a laptop. It's really easy.
Perfect. So
Mhm.
it's actually versatile too.
Yes.
That's exciting, especially with all the questions I had, which I feel like you answered a lot of them. To know that I can create something personalized for me and also be more aware of what I'm doing.
Exactly. Exactly. In the workbook, I like this format because it's not like you just calling in and saying like, "What can I buy? Like, what's going to help me sleep?" You're actually working through the process of understanding why this will help you. And so, like, you know, when someone is more interactive with something, a solution for them, then it sticks.
Yes.
It's not just me telling you; you're actually working through why this works for you. And I think
Yes.
that's the key.
And that is a good transition because in coaching, that's what we talk about. We don't tell people what to do. We bring about questions that create the
Right.
awareness for that individual to decide, oh, I didn't know that.
Right. They
That's why
have to
I
have
do what I
that. Oh,
do.
right. Right.
Like that is creating the space for the increased awareness. And then you get to decide, like, oh, no, 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 that's too much. I can't go there. That's your choice.
Right.
Or you can be like, no, why?
Co-creating. Yeah, you're guiding them and they're also putting their that is co-creation at its best, literally.
Co-creation, yes. So I want to give us about 5 or 10 minutes to co-create something that you are currently stuck with. I'm calling it Crystal's Think Tank. So whenever I interview someone, I give
Ooh,
them some
okay.
time for us to co-create something.
That I am currently stuck with.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Something I'm currently stuck with, allowing time for myself. Because there's so much on my plate, I tend to pour into those things and I give less and less time to myself. And I feel bad about that because I promote wellness and giving time to yourself is part of wellness. So I struggle with that. That's something that I'm a bit stuck with right now.
Nina, you are completely normal. So many people have those same thoughts of this is who I am, but yet I'm not doing it for myself.
Right. And
Yes, that is normal.
with the company, like I was doing those things. I was doing those things. And it's just, there's this less and less time. And I struggle with creating the time for that because
Yeah.
it just feels selfish. I take 20 minutes to do this for myself. I'm missing out on 5 tasks that can be done to help how many other people or to get how many other things done. It just, I have a hard time justifying it. So I got to get that kind of thinking out of my head. That's what I'm stuck with right now.
Yeah. And that's normal. So, why is that so important to you to create that time?
Well, it helps keep me sane. It helps if I'm better and I'm the best version of me, then I give that to everybody else. If I'm
Hmm.
not good, nothing's not gonna be like it's not gonna be good. Like I
Yeah.
have to be good. And I know that. That's the thing. Like I know that. So how come I'm not doing it? like it's just a strange thing that I struggle with.
Well, and it makes sense that you feel like it's strange. However, it is something that a lot of us were not taught, we were not encouraged, we were not educated on. So it sounds to me, and you can tell me if this is true or not for you, it sounds to me that you are aware of the importance of creating time for yourself, but yet you have
Absolutely.
this belief it's selfish. Where did that belief come from?
For me, if I am able to control all these other areas of my life and they're working and flourishing, how come I can't get this small area together, especially when I'm aware of it? That is what troubles me.
I don't know if you caught that, You said you're able to create all these other areas and they're working well. You can organize, you can create time for that.
Mm-hmm.
But this small area, what about your time is
Ooh,
small?
I made it insignificant. Whoa. Okay. Wow.
What does that feel like?
That felt like an epiphany just now. It literally just gave me goosebumps. Like I wish you could. Whew. I make it small, which is why I don't put the attention on it. Wow. And it's actually a big part. It's huge, if not one of the biggest one actually.
Because
Wow.
if you're not good, if you're not sane, if you're not in that euphoric sense
Mm-hmm.
of who Nina is, how can you keep the other things going? So it's huge, it's
It's
massive.
really huge. I did not realize I made it small like that until you checked me on like, did you just hear what you just said? You're right. Wow. Like when you
But with
say
that,
the words out, it hits differently. Like I can think it in my head all day, right? But to say the words out loud and to have someone else hear them, that's deep. It hits differently, it lands differently.
it is bringing what we've been doing day to day to the open on this big poster board, and you have to look at it, you have to stare at it. And like you said, it brings the awareness. Now, with that knowing, with you realizing you were making it small unintentionally, you were not saying, I'm worth this, deserve to do this. You weren't doing that.
Right.
But now that you're aware of it, what do you want to do with that learning?
Well, now that we have had this discussion and this been put on blast, basically, and not for other people, like it got put on blast to me for me. So I have to acknowledge it. Like I can't just not do anything about that, right? Because that's not how I operate. I have to commit to doing better, being conscious and taking more moments for myself, more time for myself. I'm not saying I'm going to be great at it every day. I know I'm going to mess up. I know I'm going to fuck up a lot, honestly, because it's baby steps. But
Yes.
I'm gonna baby step the hell out of it. That's all I can do. That's all I
And
can do. Is
that's
baby
all
step
that's
the hell out of it.
that's all that's required. Seriously. You being open and allowing yourself to experience that is the first step. But then you saying, let me give myself grace. I'm not perfect. And I just actually had this moment. So even if you need to sit with it, journal about it,
I
write it
definitely do.
down, meditate, that is still an action.
Mm.
And you taking those baby steps, what would be a baby step for you?
Well, this honestly feels like a baby step here. This is like the first baby step. I think the
Yeah.
next baby step is really just, like you said, sitting with it, chewing on this, meditating on this, and how can I apply this? How can I take the next baby step in my life with this knowledge? So my next step is to sit and meditate and chew on this, and then I'll apply the action.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
And I know when you sit, whenever you decide to sit, that's the second action. That whatever that awareness that you create in that sitting will continue your journey of the baby steps that you put forth for yourself. So you will succeed. You will find that clarity.
Absolutely.
Kudos to you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for helping me, like, I guess, bring that out.
Thank you for trusting me in this space, for being open. Like, this is the first time I've ever done that. So this is special for the both of us. Like you
Yeah.
said, co-creating. We just did that. So kudos to us. Like,
So thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you
Oh,
for that. Thank
thank you. Is there anything else that you would like the listeners to take away with them other than going to your website when you release? Actually, go to your website regardless and just play around and explore. But is there anything else you would like for the peeps to do?
For the peeps, yes, do go to the website. Once you're there, I do want you guys to check out the blog. All of our posts on our blog feature women in wellness. Crystal is actually featured on there.
Hey.
And we only feature women, not because we hate men, we love the men, but I am all female empowerment. And like when we support one another, it's a beautiful thing.
It
So
really
we
is.
feature women only on our blog. So definitely check that out and check out these amazing women. And special for all of your followers and your listeners, we have a code. So the code is unstuck, UNSTUCK, and you will get 20% off your first order.
Can I use that?
Absolutely, girl.
Because I'm definitely getting the gummies.
Yes. And there's no
And
expiration on this code. So if you hear this podcast, 10 years from now, it's still gonna be good. Because we're still gonna be around.
yes. And Nina, like seriously, it's the first time I've had a code, and this was so organic, and I'm
Yeah.
so happy. Like, thank you
Happy I can
for
make you
creating
happy.
this.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Nina about to get my money. And I'm all for it because these are things that I want, and these are things that I want to try. And now that we are getting to know more about you, your history, how you have cultivated this empire,
Thank you
where
for telling me that.
it's just not products. Like this was purpose. This was
There's
personal.
intention behind it.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank
This
you.
was fun.
This was fun. I
We gotta
appreciate
do it
it.
again.
I'm down. I'm down. You let me know. Time
I
and
will.
attention, I'm there.
All right. Well, thank y'all for listening, and we'll talk next week. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Yay! This was so electrifying for me. I felt so many emotions listening and experiencing all that Nina is. So y'all say thank you to Nina by clicking on the links in this week's episode. If the links don't work, message me on IG and just say links please, and I'll send them all your way. Also visit her dope ass website. You can follow her on Instagram at Indica Dreams. That's INDICADREAMS. You can find her on Facebook, and also go grab you some goodies for 20% off your first order. That is for the special Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons peeps. We have a code, y'all, a whole code. There's no expiration. Your very first order from Indica Dreams, 20% off by using the code UNSTUCK, UNSTUCK. Remember, she has new products coming out too. So if you want to wait until those come out, go for it. So let's run that code VF up. This is to keep funding and supporting our own Black-owned ecosystem. With the businesses we want to flourish, expand, and experience. So visit her website today, and that website is indicadreams.com. Also in the link for the show. Thank you, Nina, for being a part of my very first Think Tank segment, where we partner together to coach you through a current stuck moment you were experiencing. With your honesty and openness, you were able to raise your awareness to the cause and the remedy to get unstuck. And the peeps and I are so rooting for you. We're cheering you on. You got this, Nina. This is your time to treat yourself with yourself. And if you're currently experiencing stuck moments, schedule an appointment today so that you can complete your ELI assessment. You'll complete a 20-minute survey, and we'll be able to spend 90 minutes together raising your awareness, answering those questions, highlighting your abilities to then take purposeful action with ease. Click the link in today's show to find out more information of the ELI assessment. Again, thank you all for listening every single week. Thank you for sharing your favorite episode. Thank you for messaging me and sending me your very dear, open, and honest feedback. Welcome it. I thank you. I want to make sure this show is providing you what it needs to provide. And I'm only one perspective. So if you have an idea, if you really enjoyed the Think Tank and you have a topic that I could do, share it. I'm all ears. Thank y'all so much for being here, and I hope y'all have a dope-tastical week. Remember, peeps, get unstuck. Peace.